If you paid any attention to college football yesterday, you would have saw that Indiana quarterback Michael Penix Jr. led Indiana to a huge win over number 8 Penn State, and clearly showed he had the it factor to win that game. You may be asking why the heck am I talking about him, but I'll explain later in the video. If you also paid attention to college football yesterday, you would have seen that Tennessee lost its third straight game in lopsided fashion. Going into the 2020 season, Tennessee started out ranked high, was pegged to be closing the door with Georgia and Florida, and had all the hype in the world. But once again, it's unraveled. And don't come after me in the comment section, because I am a soft-spoken Tennessee Volunteers fan, but today I want to talk about the harsh truth about Tennessee football and why they're still stuck in this rut. The answer is quite simple. It's literally just their quarterback play. They've been stuck with Jarrett Guarantano the past 4 years, and according to Jeremy Pruitt, they have no one else on the bench who's even remotely as good as him. But they could have had guys like Michael Penix Jr. and Adrian Martinez, but Pruitt pulled their scholarship offers in favor of JT Shrout. Today we'll talk about the truth about Tennessee football, Pruitt's strange obsession with Jarrett Guarantano, and what the problem is for Tennessee football. I also want to offer some optimism for the program and how I think they can turn things around. But first, if you're new to the channel and love college football, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, smash that like button, share this video with your friends, drop a suggestion down in the comment section, and be sure to stay until the end so it helps my video do better, my channel can get more views, and I can make more videos for you guys. So now let's get started with the harsh truth about Tennessee football. Let's be honest, Tennessee has not had much success since Josh Dobbs left. Yes, they beat Indiana last year, and they are on an 8-game winning streak at some point, but they still haven't beaten anyone who's really that good. And it's all because of their quarterback, Jarrett Guarantano. There are 3 groups of Tennessee fans currently: the Pro JG crowd, the Play Anyone Else crowd, and the I Don't Have a Clue crowd. I put myself in the Play Anyone Else crowd. Pro Football Focus ranked all 14 SEC quarterbacks going into last week, and they put Guarantano 13th on the list. For a team that's supposed to be competing for an SEC East title and closing the gap, you can't have a quarterback ranked that low. But you may be asking, don't all the other SEC schools have high-profile quarterbacks? There were 5 3-star recruits ranked ahead of him on this list, and they're winning games at programs like Florida and Alabama. Tennessee will enter their bye week next week at 2-3, and this is their first 3-game losing streak since the 2017 season. The Vols have dropped to 0-8 against rivals Alabama, Florida, and Georgia during the Pruitt era, and all of those losses have come by at least 3 touchdowns. Tennessee's play at quarterback has taken a significant step back over the past 3 weeks, and they have seen 3 straight completely lopsided losses for the team. Pruitt said in his last press conference that Guarantano would need to earn his spot just like the rest of the players, but there are a ton of fans and media members who believe that the JG time should be done and over with, and I completely agree with them. I'm a soft-spoken Tennessee fan, so I want to see the Volunteers do well, and I'm tired of them sitting at mediocrity, and I don't understand why they keep sticking with the same guy. Pruitt has a strange obsession with JG, and he's committed to him over the past few years, and going into the Alabama game, he still said he was going to be starting despite committing 6 turnovers in the previous 2 games and getting blown out by their rival Kentucky. A Kentucky team that now seemingly has a dead offense and looked absolutely terrible against Missouri. They did play 3 quarterbacks against Kentucky, which raised questions about whether Pruitt was going to make a change at the position, but he said he didn't want to put Jarrett on the shelf, and he's going to have to earn it in practice like everybody else. JG has not been very good. He's shown flash at times, and you can defend him all he wants for a few good plays, but he can't win a big game, and he's definitely not the guy to lead them to an SEC East title. So what does this tell me? This is very concerning for Tennessee football because they have 3 guys behind him: Brian Maurer, JT Shrout, and Harrison Bailey. With Pruitt consistently saying JG is their best chance to win, this shows that all 3 quarterbacks behind him are not very good. So it's not like Jarrett Guarantano has been amazing or anything, and the fact that he still sticks by him shows some concern at the quarterback position. But in my opinion, it's time to throw Harrison Bailey in with the Wolves and see what he can do. Pruitt had a response to that in this thing he does called vol calls. He used an example of Alabama quarterback Mac Jones, who was on the scout team as a freshman while Pruitt was the defensive coordinator at Alabama. He said if we would have played Mac at quarterback that year, we probably would have won about 7 or 8 games. But if you look at him right now, 4 years later in the same system with a chance to develop and grow and mature, he's playing as good as anybody in college football. You can't put unrealistic expectations on freshmen. I don't even know what to say to that. Right there, Pruitt basically compared Tennessee to Alabama. Tennessee hasn't even won 10 games since Pruitt has been there, and he's acting like a true freshman leading them to a 7 or 8 win season is bad news. They need a quick reality check because that's what Jarrett Guarantano did last year, and Tennessee wasn't anything special the years before that. Plus, what does Pruitt think? Tennessee's 2-3 at this point, and the season's basically gone down the drain, and they've already been laughed at a ton by the media. So what are they playing for here, the Music City Bowl or something? If Pruitt has any common sense, he's got to realize the season's basically down the drain at this point. They're definitely not winning the SEC East, and they need to prepare for the future. So it's time to throw Harrison Bailey in there. Pruitt either needs to commit and say Jarrett Guarantano's the quarterback the entire year, or just put in another guy and let him grow and develop. But he doesn't seem to want to do that. I'm honestly sick and tired of Jarrett Guarantano being the quarterback for Tennessee over the last few years, and it's definitely time for them to do something else. Harrison Bailey is one of the top rated quarterbacks in the 2020 class, and he is by far the future of the program, so why on earth are they not at least giving him a chance? Yeah, he may not have been able to have the same amount of reps as he normally would have had because of COVID, but isn't this the season to learn? It's a free year of eligibility, and this would give him a chance to really learn from his mistakes. But, according to Pruitt, Tennessee is competing for an SEC East title with a losing record halfway through the year. Of course, there's the rule that this year's a free year of eligibility, and I pray they don't bring JG back for another year, but knowing Pruitt, that's definitely what they're going to do. So let's look at the other options they could have had. As I said earlier, Jeremy Pruitt pulled both Michael Penix Jr. and Adrian Martinez's scholarships when he came into Tennessee in favor of JT Shrout. Shrout has done absolutely nothing since he got to Tennessee. Meanwhile, Adrian Martinez gets a lot of crap from the media, but he's been a solid quarterback for Nebraska, and he's definitely better than Guarantano in my opinion. Michael Penix Jr. has struggled with injuries, but he has been a starting quarterback for arguably the worst team in Big Ten football history, and now looks like has Indiana football on the rise. So the fact that Pruitt picked Shrout over him is very disappointing. If sophomore Brian Maurer or redshirt sophomore JT Shrout still aren't ready at this point in their careers, then it means that Tennessee failed tremendously when they evaluated them coming out of high school, or it means that their quarterback job has done a terrible job at developing them. With Pruitt sticking with JG this entire season and the past 2 years, it tells me he has no confidence in the backups and that he's the best guy, which is very concerning, and this is why Tennessee football is never going to take the next step. Today's video is honestly a rant on my end, because I'm tired of seeing the same dude do the same thing every single year for Tennessee, and I want to see the program actually get back to being good again. But we will just have to wait and see. In my honest opinion, it's time to throw Harrison Bailey in with the Wolves whether they like it or not, and it's time for Pruitt to accept the fact that they're not winning the SEC East this year or in the next few years if he continues to have mediocre quarterback play. If you're a Tennessee fan, let me know what you think down in the comment section. Which JG crowd are you part of, and how do you guys think that Tennessee's going to turn this around? I've never done a video like this, so if you enjoyed this and want to see more of this, be sure to hit that like button and drop a comment to show your support, and I'll definitely consider doing more stuff like this. Don't tear me up too much in the comment section down below, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and check out all my other college football videos. I actually made a video about why Harrison Bailey is the future of Tennessee, so if you want to check that one out, I'll leave a link down in the description down below, and I'll put it on the end screen for you guys. If you love college football, be sure to subscribe. I make videos almost every single day, so you won't want to miss out on any of that, so be sure to turn on post notifications so you never miss when I do upload. I hope Tennessee football gets it together and finds a good quarterback, but as I said earlier, we'll just have to wait and see. Hope to see you guys again soon for my next videos, but until then, peace.